We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
I blame it on industry. I blame it on my own hypocrisy. Miseducation and politicians. No one's willing to step up and speak.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Pace Radio Show. It's November the 24th, 2021 and we are live and coming to you from paceradio.net. I'm Al Graham and tonight my joint host Kim Cooper and I have a guest who has started a small business as a distraction hobby and has quickly grown into so much more. But before we learn about this business and about our guests, it's time for Kim and I to have a chat and some news. Hello Kim, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Personal note, I had a bout of pancreatitis flare up a couple of days ago. I've been battling that back for about 4 days now. And I think I'm coming out the other side. So I feel much better today, and I'm glad to be here and glad that I was able to recuperate enough to do this show.
Good stuff. Good to hear. Yes, we're all patients here, and we have to deal with those things. We are, they happen. They happen, and yeah. And sometimes it just all of a sudden it's there, bang. There's no warning.
Yeah, there's no warning at all. And I brought it up because part of my preventative medicine regime that I use to battle my pancreatitis is often triggered by gallbladder issues, and I use internal medication by way of suppository as a treatment for this, and that is actually in our news story tonight.
That's right, exactly, because according to MJ Biz Daily, Canada is regulated cannabis suppositories targeted towards female consumers for the first time.
The first time, and as a suppository consumer, as a way of getting my medicine, I can tell you they do work. Alberta licensed cannabis producer Prairie Grass says its new line of cannabis suppositories are the first to hit Canada's regulated market, and the company hopes that the niche products will address market demand from female consumers.
Yeah, the female-founded company recognized, as they say here in quotes, a gap in the market for cannabis directed towards female health and wellness, according to their co-president and quality assurance person, Rebecca Thompson.
Yeah. I mean, it's awesome to see expansion into this area. As we read on the article, they say they definitely know that this is something that patients want, and absolutely, and they think that they're filling a gap. So prairie grass suppositories are intended for vaginal or rectal administration, include two varieties, and this one kind of made me stop and chuckle. Relief pods are containing 10 milligrams of THC per unit, which is the maximum under Canada's regulations. And the other brand, Eve Pods, contain 40 milligrams of hemp-derived CBD and per unit and roughly 1 milligram of THC. As a suppository consumer, I'm not using 4 suppositories at the end of my day, Pete's not going to happen.
Oh my.
These limits, I'm telling you. Oh, yeah.
They need some work,
it's a
right?
Great idea, and Health Canada gets involved,
Is this something that they could maybe change? I don't know whether it could go under CHPs. With CHPs, which is cannabis health product, would that be something that they could turn and maybe try to increase it, or I like you say, it's a small dose. I don't know, and
that's
from
too low of a dose.
Now, from my understanding, I haven't used these. Is there any euphoric effect?
No, none.
None.
Zero
None.
euphoric effect. Zero. I've been using these things for 4 years. I make my own. I've been saying for 4 years, why isn't somebody doing this? Why isn't somebody doing this? Because I know so many females and males that use them for stomach as well as bowel problems, IBS, that kind of thing. That's not exclusive to women. Men do suffer from these conditions as well.
Oh, yes.
So, they're not exclusively for women, that's for sure. The vaginal portion, well, of course, but it's the same medication, just put into two different places.
Yeah.
So they're unisex for sure. They're not just for women. And this milligram level, it's not high enough to do anything and combat pains, cramping, and that kind of thing. It's got to be higher than that. There's zero euphoric effects. You get the relief internally in the area that you need it, which is the stomach and everything that's connected to the stomach. It goes up and it gets absorbed through the membranes in those areas and goes into your body from there. And it's no, you don't get any high at all from them.
No high at all. Now, just remember, according to a spokesman, like I say, it's from Health Canada, all products sold under the Cannabis Act, including suppositories, must not make therapeutic or health claims. So are they selling these as recreation? They have to be selling these as recreational?
Well, you would have to under the law. You have to. We've talked about this. That's why Quebec, the province of Quebec, you can't get creams and lotions and stuff like that there in their government stores because they don't qualify as recreational. So they're not allowed to sell them. The Cannabis Act is definitely still very flawed and needs to grow. We need to grow out of these regulations, barring medicinal effects claims, when there are absolutely medicinal effects or the products wouldn't exist. They're not being used to get high.
Right. Now it says here that prairie grass are being sold through Canada's medical cannabis market, so they must be doing that directly to patients. And then they say that, however, the company also sells them through recreational channels and has plans to sell them through the Ontario wholesaler, so they'll be available in the stores.
Yeah. So come get your suppositories on your way to the party. I mean, the whole thing is just redonkulous, but I am glad to see expansion in the product lines coming out from these producers. I'm glad to see that medical is being looked at, because with legalization, that's been my biggest bitch, is that medical patients are being left dangling in the wind. And this is definitely a step in the right direction in addressing some of those concerns.
Yeah.
They're putting us back on the table as people that require products. Now, we've just got to get to those Health Canada limits. That's the federal act limit, the limits that are being, the constraints that are being put on these companies with the limits are definitely what we need to address at this point, and that takes us back to the feds, not the growers, not the producers.
Not the producer, exactly. That's got to be changed in law, and there's so much that has to be changed, and it's going to take time, and obviously it's taken time, 3 years to get the first approved one here in Canada, and hopefully over time, like you say, they can make those more of the medical end of things as far as strength wise.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm happy for prairie grass that they are addressing Canada's medical system and medical patients, because this is absolutely a medicinal product for patients, and I'm just thrilled to death to see a company come out with something for us for a change. Since legalization, we don't see a lot of that anymore.
That's right. Yes, exactly. We don't. So it's good to see. Well, what do you say? Time to bring in our guest?
Absolutely. Looking forward to tonight's guest.
Yes, and actually we did touch on this with our guest beforehand, and I believe she might have some not opinion wise, but maybe had heard some information. We'll find out. So at this time, we'd like to welcome our guest, small business owner, Meeghan King of 4th and 20 to the Pace Radio Show. Welcome, Meeghan. How do you like?
Hello.
Welcome to the program.
Hello. Thank you very much for having me. It's very nice to be here.
And
how's everybody doing tonight?
I'm doing very well.
Doing good. Glad to have you with us tonight, Meeghan. I know that there's a bit of a personal connection between you and Mr. Graham.
Yes.
Yeah. We go back a little bit, don't we, Al?
Yes, we sure do, Meeghan. We sure do. Jeez. Back. Well, geez, I don't know. How old would you have been?
We were about 11 years old when Courtney and I met Al's daughter. Yeah.
Yeah, 11. So I was close, Kim. I said 12.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
You said you thought maybe 12, somewhere in there when we were discussing it pre-show. So Meeghan was childhood and through high school a friend of your daughter, Al, and now she's in the cannabis industry, and you do a cannabis radio show. It was meant to be, right?
I guess it was. I don't know.
The world works in mysterious ways sometimes. Comes in full circle, that's for sure.
It does. And Meeghan would know from being around our house, you know, me maybe being dressed in it. Like I didn't consume directly in the house. I didn't sit there and smoke around the kids or smoke in the house or anything like that. Yeah.
Nope. You always had your pot shirt on.
Sure.
We had an idea of what was going on, but we looked together.
Yeah.
As teenagers do, right?
Yes.
It's funny. I have to tell a quick little.
Go ahead.
Little story. I was talking to Courtney just before the show, Al, and I'd mentioned to her that when you and I connected a few weeks ago, you said, "Hi, Meeghan. It's Al, Courtney's dad." And I just had to laugh. I said to Courtney, you know, I guess once a parent, always a parent. We just never stop referring to ourselves as so-and-so's parent, even after all of these years.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's, you know, it was something that I would, you know, it wasn't anything I ever thought about that, you know, at some time I'd be, you know, asking one of my daughter's friends to be a guest on my program, and I thought, geez, you know, and the fact that you're local, right? You're local to me. You know, you're not right here. I'm in Marmor. You're in the next town over.
Yeah, that's right. I'm in Madoc. I grew up in Campbellford with Courtney, and over here in Madoc for the last couple of years. So.
Well, we're similar. We've been over here in Marmor for the last couple of years. You know, so. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you ever go back to Campbellford?
Oh, yeah. I still have family over there, so I still travel to visit. It gets busier and busier every time I drive through, I swear.
You noticed that too, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Well, let's get Kim going in here with some questions on the cannabis issue thing. And I'm sure during the program, we're going to have lots of time. We're going to be reminiscing about things in the past. And I finally understand what people mean about the traffic on the bridge in town.
Yeah. Classic, yes.
All right, Kim.
All right. Thanks so much. It's great to meet you, Meeghan. I've got an overview from Al of talking about, you know, how you guys met and childhood friends and all that, which is very cool. And then lo and behold, here you are now in cannabis industry. So I'd like to, before we dive into your company, I'd like to give our listenership an overview of your experience outside of high school with Al's daughter, and childhood memories into your adulthood. How did you wind up in cannabis? How did you come to know about cannabis and have cannabis in your life where this became a business for you? Tell us how you got started.
Definitely. So again, I did absolutely start in high school, not as an educated user, just for fun. It wasn't until several years later, after I had my son. My son's he's 6 now, so he was about 2. And I started to talk about having some mental health problems, some sleep problems, just a lot of anxiety. And it was a conversation that I was having with a friend, and they said to me, have you tried smoking weed? And I just kind of laughed and said, yeah, well, that'll just make me fall asleep. And they said, I'm going to introduce you to daytime weed versus nighttime weed. And that was my introduction in the most layman's form of the different types of cannabis and how it can be used differently. So from there, I started to do, my own research and realize, different strains will have different effects. And then I went from strains to there's different types of products that you can use differently. You don't just have to smoke it. And so it became a really big part of my, I want to say, like, my mental health routine, I guess you could say. It's been, I use it for anxiety, but I also, on the physical side, I use it for, so as you were touching on earlier with the suppositories. So I've never used the suppositories, but I do use cannabis for menstrual pain. In the form of the medicated lotions, the bath products. They are fantastic at relieving pain.
Aren't they?
Yeah. So it just took one person to say to me, weed is a little bit more than just to give you the giggles. And it kind of took off, and it's become a big part of my life.
The learning curve between recreational and medicinal. It's finding out, hey, you know what? I've been smoking this for fun all these years. What do you mean it's good for me? And the light bulb goes on. And then you find out one thing, and it's like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me more. And the curiosity is piqued. It's like, no, I need to know more now. And the more you find out, the more you need to know.
That is exactly it. That is exactly how I have felt for the last few years. I just kept digging, and I just kept reading, and it's amazing what it can do for you and how it can help people.
Yeah.
I find it's important to do that, because when you're talking with people and you're explaining things to people, quite often they'll say, especially when it comes to cancer, well, how does that do that? Well, you've read on it. You've whether you've watched or read researchers or information on it, or read other patients or heard from other patients about how this has helped them. It's all about gathering up that information and knowledge and being able to share it with others.
And I have to say that I feel very, very fortunate that after I researched this information, I took this information to my doctor. I was very nervous, ready to sort of go in there, guns a-blazing. And I said, look, I just want you to know, like, I'm starting to use these products to help me. Is there anything, like, can you recommend? Can you give advice? What are your thoughts? And my doctor was 100% on board, gave me all the advice I could ask for, pointed me in the right direction, supported me 100%. So I know that that's not always the case. So I do feel very fortunate.
Wow.
And I love to.
You are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are very fortunate. Many patients don't have that. They have pushback, as I did. I went through the pushback. I got told, no, you can't get off pharma for that. Are you crazy? And and I did, and proved them all wrong. But it's not. It's a real struggle for many people, and having an informed, educated doctor is truly a blessing.
Because for a lot of people, I think that if your doctor even just was a little bit hesitant, it would stop for them right there. They wouldn't feel the confidence as a patient to push forward. To try and find what's best for them. So. And
it's great that you reached out to your own doctors, because over the years of doing this, there's so many times where people have come to me and said that they're looking for a signature because the doctor won't sign, and I've said, well, did you talk to your doctor? Oh, no, he won't sign. I just know he won't sign. And I said, well, did you ask him? They say no. And
it's worth the conversation for sure.
Correct. And you open that conversation with your doctor, and if that doctor, it could be that doctor's first time. You just never know, and that could open the door for the next patient or the next person that comes along behind you that may ask. Whether it's the next day, the next month, or whatever.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's how it starts, is by one patient at a time coming in and speaking up. And, sometimes it'll open a doctor's eyes to learn more and go and find out, okay, a patient is asking, so I've got to look into it. So, hopefully that's the outcome. But even if it's not, we've got to keep trying. We've got to keep pushing. So congrats on doing that for sure.
Yes.
When the light bulbs started going on and you started learning about all of these products and everything, that led you to gaining employment in the industry after a while, right?
So my business came a little bit later. So my business started, for me, it came sort of in the darkest days of the pandemic. Pretty low, just, cannabis is kind of the only thing keeping me going. And I actually just thought to myself, I wonder if there's a fun way that I can consume this. So I started to look up things like pink rolling papers or printed pipes and things like that, just to sort of like make myself feel good while I was consuming it. And that's sort of what opened my eyes to another world, I'll say the aesthetic world of cannabis consumption, if you will. And so that's what triggered my business for me.
Absolutely. Now you're employed in legal cannabis as well, part-time, right?
Yeah, so I actually just recently started. I'm a part-time bud tender with Olympia Cannabis over in Tweed. And they will be opening a store here in Madoc as well in the next few months. So once that is complete, I will be moving over here to Madoc.
So is the store in Tweed open? Is the store in Tweed open now?
Oh yeah, it's been open for a few months. So,
okay, yeah, just Tweed. Just so listeners know, Tweed is 2 towns over from me to the east. They're like 15 minutes, 20 minutes to the east of me. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are all in southeastern Ontario.
Yeah. There was I won't say anything.
Yeah, they have one in. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's in Tweed. Yeah, that's right. So it's in Tweed. Where is it in Tweed?
It is right on that main drag. I'm not sure what the name of the main street in Tweed. If it's Front Street or Victoria Street.
It's the highway. It would be what, 37?
Yeah, it's right almost right next to the Bank of Montreal.
Yeah. Okay, so you're downtown.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's a nice
Tweed, not a big town. They'll find it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It is. So yeah, you're downtown, in between the lights probably, because there's 2 sets of stoplights in Tweed. So how, you've been open there for a few months. So how is things? Like, as far as, like, I'm just sort of curious, as being that there's not a lot of stores in this area that are open, right? So I would think that's a bit of an advantage.
Stores are scarce out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the blanket that we have in Ontario for numbers of stores, there are these pocket regions that are very underserviced still, even though we have these large quantities of stores. Mainly, they're all focusing on the bigger cities, and the bigger cities are overrun with them. And then you've got these pockets all over the place that have nothing.
Yeah, like, 'cause there's the one in there in Tweed. And then Sterling is opened as well, one in Sterling, and that's it. Other than that, you got to go all the way to Peterborough. There's one up in Northbrook, or you got to go to Belleville. You know?
Yes.
And this is all 40 minute drives, right?
One way,
yes.
An hour. So yeah.
Yeah.
And so therefore, when you get there, you have to spend a lot more money because you've made the trip. So.
Right.
Yeah, you're not gonna drive. Yeah, you're not gonna drive that distance just for a few grams.
No, of course not.
Well, I guess you've got you get your legal limit, I guess. Yeah. So,
yes, that's true. Yeah, that's a common thing that I have heard. I've only been with Olympia for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
But that is a common one. The
okay,
limitations.
Let me ask this. Somebody asked me this, and I had never thought about it. I have never shopped in a legal store, so I don't know how really. I know what I've heard about them. I know what I read about them. I know about the laws, but I've never shopped in one. So, somebody asked me this, and I thought, good question. We have a legal limit. We are only allowed to ground 30 grams, right?
Yeah.
So can you go in? What if I go into your store, I buy 30 grams, I go outside, I smoke a joint, and I come back in and I buy another 30 grams? How do you know I'm not? Do you keep track of, like, there's nothing preventing that, is there?
Well, by law, we are supposed to keep, like, and it's harder to ask me that as well, right? Because it's a very small town. So if you just left my store and then came right back in, I would know it was you, and I would technically, by law, I'm not supposed to. Also, because I would know that you are under the influence.
Yeah, be the same. That's the same as. That'd be the same as.
Smart serve.
Yeah.
Smart serve.
It's exactly like
All right.
smart serve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Same as a liquor store employee. They're under the same rule, same law.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So
the same
this only works in towns that have more than one store, then.
Correct. or you try to, or unless you learn the shifts, man. Unless you can learn the shifts. Yeah. You go in while Meeghan is there, and then when Meeghan leaves, you go in, right?
Yeah.
Halfway through the day.
Oh,
you gotta
Meeghan's
get in
shift
the
is
morning
over.
and then at night.
Yeah, so Meeghan shifts over in 5 minutes. Go in now. Okay, 10 minutes later. Okay, we're good to go in again.
But yeah, if you walk into a store, like for example, let's say we had a store in Marmor. Let's say they decide to opt in at some point, and we have a store, and I walk down to the store as I walk into town. I walk downtown all the time, smoking a joint because downtown is a joint away from here. And I smell like cannabis. You could technically refuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Gee,
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. If you go into a bar and you smell like alcohol,
Yeah.
that can be one of the reasons that they refuse to serve you. But with alcohol, there is also the contingent that you have to exhibit signs of intoxication. It can't just be that you smell like alcohol. Well, what if I work at a brewery? I haven't had a drink all day, but I'm going to smell like alcohol. So it shouldn't be the only criteria for cannabis. It isn't the only criteria for alcohol. There's more things that are combined with that, other than just the smell.
Yeah, because
now the whole reason I brought that up about the multiple purchases is because of the distance. It wasn't, for people to, just willy-nilly exceed their limit just because, or for whatever purpose. But if you're driving a great distance, maybe you need more than 30 grams to last you to make that distance drive worthwhile.
100%. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, that would be the biggest struggle. I think especially for people that are not new to cannabis.
Yes.
So I want to say seasoned users, where they, we've had a lot of flexibility in what we could purchase and when, but to be told now, like seasoned users, we would use more than the average person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, I'm a prescribed user, and so is Al. For me to go in and fill my prescription at a cannabis store, if I was away on vacation, I'd have to go to the cannabis store every day, a couple of times a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we are only allowed to carry 150 grams with us, and if you were a patient with 30 grams a day, to be able to travel for 2 weeks, you can't carry enough, and some people may
carry enough for a week.
No, exactly. So
another thing I find tricky in the retail too is so the gummies or a beverage or a bath bomb, they all have their own equivalency of dried cannabis, and that counts towards your 30-gram limit.
I mean, really?
Yeah.
I mean, really? So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to buy my newfound suppositories. Okay, I'm going to buy my newfound suppositories that they now have on the market. I'm going to grab myself my bath bomb and, my morning tea, because they have the tea now. And maybe a bottle of lotion to rub down after my bath. There's nothing left for me to smoke.
Yeah, I would say you'd be lucky if you could get all that in 30
Oh, I don't.
equivalency.
I think she was. I think she was gone after 2 or 3 items.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's my morning tea and my bedtime regimen. What about all day? isn't
I
even
actually
included
was
in that.
reading a package of 5 seeds is the equivalent of purchasing 5 grams of dried cannabis.
My Lord.
So if you are in a legal retail place, to purchase the seeds, it counts as 5 grams towards your 30-gram limit.
Yeah, 1 seed is equal to 1 gram, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
oh, really? It's
Correct,
a
yeah.
seed.
1 seed is a gram.
So that one's a complicated one to try to explain to people as well, right? And I mean, we're limited. As far as me being a retail staff, like limited as in this is what I can legally do. Not that I agree with it, but this is what I can legally do. But it's
what
a
I
tough
can
one
do.
for
Yeah,
people
we've got to follow the law.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a tough one too to almost to comprehend, because some of their equivalencies, they're not all of them are straightforward. It's almost like, this bath bomb might be worth this, or this lotion might be worth this. They're not consistent across the board. So it makes it difficult for people to try to calculate.
Yeah.
In my experience.
Well,
Kim,
Kim,
it's just
Kim,
been thrown together by people that don't know what they're doing, right?
Kim,
So-
when we make that journey someday into a store to make a purchase, I can just see us going, what?
I'll put my bedtime regime on the counter, and they'll tell me I can't have it.
yeah. All right, ladies.
The iPad menus.
Yes.
Oh,
All right.
jeez. All right, I know
ladies.
it's
Break time.
Yeah.
That's right. All right. We're going to head off for break, pay some bills, do some medication. When we return, Kim and I will continue our talk with our guest, Meeghan King of 4th and 20. This is the Pace Radio Show. We are live here on paceradio.net.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888. And grow on with CP.
PACE Radio is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
The People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network, found at paceradio.net, provides its listeners with news, information, and a place to be heard. This is done through our 5 weekly live video and audio broadcasts that cover cannabis and psychedelic news, plus those we interview. We get started Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Reefer Reporters. Then at 9 p.m. we're live with Canada Quebec. Tuesday brings you Open Your Eye or the Psychedelic Reporters at 7 p.m. Wednesday at 8, we are live with the Pace Radio Show. But we're not done yet, because on Thursday, the Reefer Reporters return with another Reefer Report. Meanwhile, once a month, Thursdays bring you the Grassroots Advocate, the Pace Radio Network's audio magazine. All these shows, plus more, are found right here on paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Hello and welcome back. You're listening to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net. And if you missed our live shows, don't forget, you can always catch the podcast afterwards at paceradioshow.com. And also, don't forget, tomorrow, catch the Reefer Reporters, Ron and Cindy. They go live on our Facebook and YouTube pages, and it's podcasted afterwards here at paceradio.net. They will have 10 hot news stories on cannabis for you to get caught up on your weekly news. Tonight in the program, we are joined by our guest, Meeghan King of 4th and 20, plus my joint host, Kim Cooper of No Sir is here as well. Well, ladies, the first segment, we're talking a bunch about Meeghan and working in the store and, you know, her medicinal use. Kim, where are we going to go now? Kim, your mic is muted.
My mic is muted. I'm talking away again. That's twice I've done that tonight. Once not on the air. One's not on the air. One's on the air. I'm doing good tonight. Talking away with a muted mic. Yeah, tonight we're going to, for this segment, we're going to talk about Meeghan's aspirations and her business that came out of our current reality that we're in. Out of boredom, she did something for something to do, and it's turned into a great little business that she's got. So Meeghan, tell us again about how you got started with this, the great accessories and gift shop that's online called 4th and 20.
Thank you. Yeah. So the website is 4th and 20. So I'll just give a little bit about what I carry. So the idea came to me when I was looking for, I mentioned earlier, sort of some fun ways, I guess you would say fun or pretty or just different ways to consume cannabis. Again, it was the middle of winter, the pandemic, everything sucked. It was very boring. I needed something fun. So I started to research and I came across all kinds of really cool, fun products and brands. Blazy Susan was the first one, the pink papers. Are you familiar with those yourself?
Yes, they're cute, aren't they? Yeah.
Before I looked them up, I didn't even know they existed. So I was, blown away by those, and then found some of those pretty pre-rolled cones, and then the My Bud vases, and, just all kinds of really nice aesthetic stuff. But it seemed to me that it was kind of all over the place. And so that sort of gave me the idea of how can I get this stuff into one shop for people that are looking for this aesthetic? And so how can I get it together and how can I offer it to them? So that's where the idea came from. So I operate right now completely out of my home. So anything that's on the website that you see, so there's lots of different papers, cones, bongs, pipes, all of that stuff I source from different wholesalers or different providers, and I bring it all, order it all home, and then I ship it out from here. So none of it's drop shipped. So I bring it all in, inspect it all, and then hand package it and send it back out.
Nice.
Yeah.
The Great Balls of Fire ones, those ones, I had those ones in September. I bought 2 packs of those and brought them home. I used 1 pack while I was on vacation. We were having a girls' vacation, and we found a booth at a green market we were at that had all the girly stuff. And this is what I would think with the feminine side of stuff. And I bought a few of them. I bought ones with peace signs on them, and I got the Great Balls of Fire, and I got the Tiffany Golds, the ones with the pink and the green with the gold tips. I got those ones. Yeah, they were very cool. And I just actually finished using the last cone a couple of days ago, so I'm going to have to get some more, and now I know where I'm going to get them. I just wanted to interrupt you for a sec. Like, did you find what I find out there when you're, now our new reality is everything is online. It was, you used to go to the head shop if you needed something and you could pretty much see what they had. We don't do that anymore. A lot of people have migrated to online. And everything online, did it seem very masculine to you? It was very difficult to find.
Yeah.
Like you say, one place with feminine products. It's a masculine world out there, isn't it?
Yes, it very much was. I just gotta say, I don't want to see another Rick and Morty bong like as long as I live. That's brutal. And I'm a fan, but yeah, it just I don't even want to, not masculine necessarily, but just almost like silly and just tacky, some of it, and just not appealing to the people who, were proud to consume it and we want to show it off. And so, yes, it's nice to see that there's a lot of products now that are starting to become more forward thinking that way, I guess would be the best way to put it.
Cannabis is awesome. Why can't it be pretty?
Absolutely. Yes. And so there, with the beautiful burns, like the cones that we were talking about, there are so many different prints. There's cheetah print ones, there's unicorn, like a rainbow unicorn printed one. There's the pink pot leaves, the green pot leaves. There's ones with little sugar skulls on them. Just so many. So it's like they're so fun too. It's so much fun to just pull out a skull printed joint.
Are these flavored? Like, I'm on your website here. I'm looking at all these cones that you got going on here.
The cones are not flavored. No.
Okay.
A lot of them are made from hemp and different things like that. The ones that I've seen, but no, none of the ones that I've gotten so far are flavored, which I really like because I don't like flavored joints.
Same here, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You know what's funny is I'd heard that as well, and then I did a sort of like a business survey just about what kind of stuff people wanted to see, and flavored rolling papers was like way up there.
Yeah.
Which I found bizarre because it seems almost like, but I feel like everybody I talk to in person does it, but then all of a sudden everybody was like,
odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like them either. I'm like Kim. I prefer to taste my cannabis.
Yeah.
So none of the ones on the website or none of the ones that I carry right now are flavored, and I do have to say that all the cones burn really nicely in my experience. They burn nice and slow. They're good size too.
Yeah. I really like this brand of cones. All the brands of cones that are on there. I've had experience with many of them, and they're good rolling, and it's so much easier to stuff a cone than it is to roll a joint at times. I mean, I have arthritic hands now. Getting your thumb over there, some days I just can't do it, and this cone will for that. All I got to do is stuff it. Although I can do that because I can hold the plunger with two thumbs if I have to.
Yeah, they're definitely, and you can do them quickly too, right? So if you're trying to head out the door, it's easier to just do two of those than you would be just fiddle with two joints.
I'm trying to think. I believe, Kim, when we were at a show in Toronto back, one of the last shows that we had covered there in November of 2019. Yeah, I believe there was a company there that had like a box that held the cones, so you could just take your cannabis, you ground up cannabis, and sweep it back and forth, and you could pack your cones. Which, like you say, people with arthritis, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's me. My hands get worse every year. It gets harder and harder. I can barely roll a joint now when I have to. So these cones are awesome for that. And then having, other entrepreneurs taking these cones and saying, "Oh, how can I make this even easier?" I mean, that's awesome, right?
I think it's a good for people that are intimidated by rolling, but they're also intimidated by maybe smoking a bong. So, they think, oh, there's nothing in between. I don't know how to roll and I'm too nervous or intimidated to try a bong or a dab rig. But then, there's this middle ground again. So if you can, get your ground, you can even buy it pre-ground now. And all you have to do is fill it.
Yeah. All you got to do is roll it. All you got to do is roll it.
You can buy it pre-ground.
Not something I would want, but okay.
Well, it reminds me of the PPS cannabis that we got when the program.
Right. Prairie plants.
Prairie
plants. The very first weed they shipped out to everybody was just this bag of swag, and it was just.
Oh boy. I went through it looking for buds. I couldn't believe it. Like what's this?
I think the appeal of it, I find, is like you were mentioning, for the people who do have severe arthritis.
Yeah.
Maybe they live alone or they just aren't able to get a bigger device. That's where the appeal is, I think, for them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of people aren't traumatized like we are, Al. Most people didn't go through the beginning stages, so they didn't get the trauma that we got. The traumatization that we went through in the last 20 years may have clouded our judgment just a little bit.
We can buy pre-shredded cheese, so it makes sense that in this day and age you can buy pre-shredded marijuana.
I guess. It just envisions horror visions, of leaf and stalk and everything ground up in a blender along with some baby buds, and then that's what they're giving you. And now when we see pre-ground weed, that's what we envision. So yeah,
it's not quite. I don't think it's quite that subpar, but I do understand what you're concerned. Yeah, I'm just over on your glass page, and I gotta say, I love this. I love the idea that when your bong is not in use, you can have it sitting on, your display shelf and stick a couple of flowers, one in the top and one in the bowl, and it's a vase. They're beautiful, aren't they? I have one that sits right on my desk next to me at all times, and no one's the wiser. There's smaller ones on there. I believe I have to double check. I think they're called the rosette ones. If you can see them, they're the ceramic ones, and there's 3 different colors. Yes, those ones are.
The little white ones.
They're a smaller size. Yeah, so those ones, they come with those ceramic. So it's actually a poker. So that flower that's on top.
It's a poker. Isn't that
ceramic.
Great?
So it's a hard ceramic rose. You pull it out and it has the poker under. So all of them include one like that.
Oh.
So yeah, they're very multifunctional, and they're beautifully designed too. They're really pretty.
Yeah,
very pretty.
Very cool. That's very cool. And I mean, I like the fact that a lot of these bongs, they don't look like your typical bong. They don't look like my old school bong that's sitting beside me. Most definitely a bong. I mean, you stick a feather or a flower in the end of these things, and it looks like a vase or a glass piece that's supposed to be on your display shelf.
Like there's the one right there on the top there, the Aurora glass vase. It even says vase in the name.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I will say that was my naming. Just like they are, I changed the name to vase.
Oh, okay, all right, okay, all right, but still, but it does. It looks like a vase. It looks like a vase. It does. Yeah.
Yeah, the one with the peacock feather in it.
Yes.
Yeah,
and it's a really nice like a purpley greenish shimmer to it almost. That was really nice. And I'm not sure if you can see, there's one on there called the Coyote. And that one is actually a ceramic one, and it's textured. That one is my favorite, absolutely. It's very lovely. And
that one has like really the whole neat Arizona vibe going. Got a whole Arizona vibe going.
Yeah.
Right.
And it reminds me almost of like like stucco, like on a stucco ceiling. There's some texture to it, like that. It's really neat. Yeah.
It's not smooth like glass, but it's very
It's got that lumpy. Very cool.
Well, that helps. That helps with grip.
It does. It does. I mean, you got some very cool stuff here, and if you're looking for aesthetically pleasing stuff, like we said, it can be very difficult to just find the pieces that you're looking for. You have to go to 3, 4, 5 different shops to find this kind of stuff. And I love that you have like pink grinders and baby blue grinders, and even your rolling trays are colorful. And it's not the Cheech and Chong one sitting there, or the Rick and Morty one, or giant pot leaf on it. I mean, it's something that if it gets left on your table, it's fine. It looks like it's supposed to be there, even if somebody that was a non-consumer came in, it wouldn't be a problem.
I'm looking at
shows pride in your ownership too, right? Like, I mean, when you have a piece like that, you're more inclined, you want to take care of it, right? You want it to look nice, so you're gonna take the time. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, is not cleaning out the bong. So I feel like using something like that's a lot more elegant looking, and it's got a lot more style.
You don't want it to get dirty. You don't want it to get dirty. It's like, oh, look, it's dirty. It's making it look yucky. No, we got to clean that, like, now.
Yes. In turn, is good for your overall health. So.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
I'm looking at some here that is the rosette porcelain vase, is what it's saying. And I'm going, okay, hang on here. Where's the bowl in this thing? Is the bowl in the within that flower?
Yeah. It's underneath it. You got to move the flower.
No. So the bowl?
Yeah, like
there is a separate bowl on the base. You might have to flick through the pictures. I believe one picture is like the front facing, one is the back. But the glass flower on the top, that comes out, and that's your poker. Yeah.
Oh, wow. They could most definitely sit as something decorative in your house. There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
Like I said, I have mine on my desk in my living room, and my 6-year-old has never questioned it.
No.
Way. No, and why would they? Why would they? It's a vase with a pretty flower.
Yeah, exactly.
He's pointing at an eye. So I mean, if you are having a need to have a consumption piece in an area where you don't necessarily want to have a consumption piece sitting there, then this is the perfect option.
They make really beautiful gifts too, which is one thing that I'm glad that sort of society as a whole is moving a little bit more towards it being acceptable to gift these, cannabis and cannabis related items. Whereas opposed to it just used to be alcohol, it was socially acceptable to buy somebody a bottle of wine or, a fancy case of beer. But now it's slowly becoming more okay to say, oh, you know what? I know that my friend is a cannabis consumer and she would love this beautiful vase or this beautiful bong.
I have a name right off the top of my head already.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right? So they make really nice gifts as well. They're thoughtful, and they're going to be used, right?
Yes.
Oh, I love that it's called my bud. It's a flower bud that's sticking out of it. My bud vase. I love that.
Exactly. Now, Kim, you look over to the left. See the one?
I already left the page. Which one? The glass?
Yeah, the psychedelic one. There's one called psychedelic.
Yeah.
With the sea creature prints on the bottom. Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, okay, yeah. Psychedelic whale glass beaker. Just the fact it's got psychedelic on it.
Yeah.
Kim said.
Yeah, it's the image on the bottom. They're really nice.
Yeah, it's on the bottom, so when you've got your face over it and you're looking down, it's on the bottom, and of course there's water in there, and that'll magnify it and everything. Those are very cool. But that's about the only bong on this page that looks like your traditional beaker bong.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And I mean, they're still very, very. I thought they were still very classy as well. But a majority of them are more unique and just these like very colorful.
Right? Yeah.
I see the psychedelic whale glass bleaker also comes in the octopus form. Do you got Kim might wonder, do you have a turtle? Kim's a big. Kim's
the turtle.
I had them, but they sold out.
There you go.
Ones with the turtle. Yeah.
Of course they did. Of course they did. Everything I own is turtle, right? Al knows I have.
I will keep that in mind.
Literally
next time
hundreds.
If they come up.
Literally hundreds of turtles in my home in some form or another. From knickknacks to posters to lampshades and lamps, and I mean, there's just turtles everywhere.
Isn't that funny? Yeah, they're really. That was the most popular one. The turtles, they were the first to go.
I don't have it. I have a turtle. I have a triple chamber bong. And the middle chamber has a glass turtle floating on some rocks, and it sits just above where the water level goes, so it looks like he's on top of the water. And I have a turtle pipe. Yes, and I have a turtle pipe, but I don't have a beaker bong turtle. So we'll have to.
We'll keep our eye out for you. There's more that I have. I haven't been able. I just haven't got them in yet, but I have a couple more glass style ones coming from a brand called Rect. Have you heard of them? Out of Montreal?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have some of their pieces coming in. So they're the beaker bongs as well, but they have the florals on them, like a floral. I don't want to say screen print, decals, I guess would be the word.
Yeah.
And then I have a couple of. They did really nice. I think they're called sidecar rigs. Am I saying that correctly? Where it's the pieces on the side. Yeah. And they're also done up in florals really nicely. So those just came in, and I'm just getting ready to add those on. So stay tuned. There's going to be some more pretty things coming your way.
More pretty stuff coming. I mean, you've got trays, you've got grinders, you've got the consumption apparatuses. And it's all pleasing to the eye. It's all calmer aesthetics, not stoner aesthetics that we see a little bit all so often.
Yes. A little bit more contemporary.
Yeah. It's like you say it. I'm trying to think of the word. I can't pronounce it properly. And it has to do with what you say about how the store is, and it's exquisite. Not the word's not exquisite. Aesthetic. Yeah. Aesthetic and
aesthetic.
The type of products that you've got there, and your website does show that. And that's in our area, especially in our area, even though you ship all across Canada, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. But locally,
this is for anybody looking for this kind of stuff anywhere. This is awesome, really. It is, because it does get tiring when you're going to look for something. You want a new bong, you need a new pipe, I need a new tray, and like you say, Rick and Morty, that's like everywhere. Now, I'm a minor fan of Rick and Morty. I get a chuckle out of them. My son is a big fan of it, and I've watched it with him and sat and laughed, but it's not something I'm turning on my own. But I understand the draw, to it. I even am standing here right now as I speak, holding my nectar collector in my hand, which has, Rick and Morty on it. And it's my nectar collector, and it's Rick and Morty. And and
everybody's got to have one Rick and Morty piece.
Yeah, but it gets tiring when when you want something. I'm looking for a nice bong. Okay, I love cannabis? Does everything have to have a pot leaf on it? Does everything have to have Cheech and Chong on it, or the epitome of the hey man stoner, you know.
Right.
And so why can't it have a flower? Why can't it be pink and not a pink cannabis leaf, just pink? You know, or have a sunflower on it,
or a fun pattern, or just something that screams your personality.
Yeah,
exactly.
So I do get it.
I like to love it. Sorry, I was just going to say I go ahead and say 4th and 20 is it's a part of my personality. So it's the parts of me that, you know, I have parts that I love to be girly and fun and get dressed up and do all kinds of stuff like that. And that's the part of me that I've put into this business. The fun part.
The fun part.
Yeah, it shows. It shows. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, ladies.
Yeah, sure.
Break time.
All right. Okay. All right.
Alrighty. Yeah, we're already there again. All right. We're going to take a break. We're going to get a chance to do some medication while our listeners get to hear from our sponsors. When we return, Kim and I will continue our conversation with Meeghan King of 4th and 20. You're listening to the Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
The Pace Radio Network is the place to be for all your information from the world of psychedelics, because we are pleased to bring our listeners 2 shows focusing on psychedelic therapy in the world of natural medicine. First up, we have Open Your Eye, which airs on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of each month. Open Your Eye is a 90-minute video podcast with Kim Cooper and Cindy Howell interviewing patients and professionals in the space. Patient stories, facilitators, lawyers, and others discuss their journeys and endeavors involving psychedelic medicine. But they're not done, because Kim and Cindy are back on alternate Tuesdays at 7 p.m. with psychedelic reporters as they bring along the show's mascot, Bufo, aka the Colorado Mud Toad, who is scouring the news wires for all the latest in psychedelic news. He then passes it on to Kim and Cindy to cover in this 60-minute video news podcast. So tune in every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern for Psychedelic Tuesdays right here on the Pace Radio Network, found at paceradio.net.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CP.
Growing your own vegetables, flowers, or even medicinal plants can be a challenge without the right equipment and proper know-how. At BMA Hydroponics, not only are they your urban horticultural experts and suppliers, but their staff holds the customer's needs paramount to making a sale. Family-owned with decades of experience and knowledge, they offer free advice in person, by phone, or email. BMA Hydroponics wants to ensure you have the advice you need, which is why you'll find tips and tricks on different ways to grow, like wick, ebb and flow, drip, or aeroponic system, as well as other helpful links at bmahydroponics.com. If you can't find what you're looking for, just let them know, and they'll do everything they can to get what you're looking for. At BMA Hydroponics, each staff member also possesses a federal exemptee MMAR license, making their strong suit empathy, experience, and dedication to their customers. Because when you know how to grow, you'll have results that make you proud. BMA Hydroponics in Belleville, Ontario. Visit bmahydroponics.com.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net. Hey, welcome back, and thanks for tuning to the Pace Radio Show. We're being broadcasted live here at paceradio.net, as well as at paceradioshow.com. Today on the program, we're joined by our guest, small business owner Meeghan King of 4th and 20, and she's also a friend of my family. And joint host, Northern Ontario, Kim Cooper, is here as well. Well, ladies, we're into the third segment. We've been talking about 4th and 20. We've been talking about medical use for Meeghan and how she got into the cannabis end of things. Kim, where are we going to go now?
Yeah, well, I want to give Meeghan an opportunity to close out on her shop and then dive into what's in the future. I mean, 4th and 20. Is it shocking to you that surprising? I guess you weren't expecting this to turn into like an online business. It was something to do while you were bored. Are you surprised by the direction?
Yeah, actually quite very, very surprised. Like I said, it was just I started to keep myself busy and happy, and then to realize that I could turn it into something more and to share that with other people as well. So yeah, it's been a really fun journey.
Excellent. And now from here, where do you go? What's next for 4th and 20? What's next for Meeghan King?
So I've got a couple things I'm working on right now. So the biggest thing is, so I'm only able to accept e-transfer or cash for local orders right now, because of credit card payment processors don't really like me very much. So I'm in the process of getting that straightened out. I'm working with a consulting company specific to cannabis, so they're helping me get a financer. So once the credit cards kick in, then it will be easier for people to place their orders. And then the next step that I'm actually going to be looking at is I'm trying to work on sort of another business model. I'd like to move into business-to-business sales. So to give some of those smaller dispensaries the option to purchase some of these things, to purchase some of these unique pieces at a lower rate and have them in their shop, without having to qualify for the minimums that a lot of these big wholesalers do. So that's the plan that I'm working on. I'd like to have a model specific to dispensaries or cannabis-related businesses where they could purchase at a reduced rate so that they can sell the product in their shop.
Nice, because that's a big problem for a lot of the smaller shops. I know that from personal experience. I help patients out with a small selection of products for patients that come to me for donations of meds and that kind of thing. Keeping a small selection is nearly impossible at getting it at getting a wholesale order or any kind of a discounted order. I mean, they don't exist unless you buy quantity.
Exactly. So, those pre-rolled cones, they come from one place and they have a minimum. My bud vases, they come from another place and they have another minimum, right? So it's very difficult especially when there's so many fees involved already in opening up a legal shop and you're limited already to what you can purchase as far as cannabis. And then so business owners are limited even more into trying to get fun accessories to bring their customers in. So that's something that I'm trying to bridge the gap on. I'm working on a plan for that.
Nice. I know a lot of shop owners out there that are looking for exactly that. You know, how do I get this stuff in without paying an arm and a leg for it, or having to buy, 100 units that are going to sit on the shelf for a year?
Right. Yeah, it's just not feasible for these like smaller shops. So it's sort of like where in the position where I first started out, where I was looking for these pieces and I was going here, there, and everywhere. And now it's just moved up to the next scale where it's the same thing on a shop level. They'd have to go here, there, and everywhere. So let's see how we can, work together.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, so those are my plans for the new year. And in the meantime, I'm happily shipping orders from my home here in Madoc every day.
Excellent. And there's plenty of good products on there, and your product list is always growing, right?
Yes, that's another thing that I'm working on as well. As I mentioned, I've got a couple of new suppliers, so just adding some new inventory in there as well. And then again, the credit cards, hopefully we should be able to accept that within the next few weeks, and then it makes it easier for people. I mean,
that's
with
a
e-transfer,
huge headache, eh?
Yeah, it deters a lot of people, I think, because it's just that one extra step that you have to make, right? You place your order, and then you got to go in and you got to do that one extra step. So I don't mind e-transfer. I do a lot of the stuff that I do is e-transfer, and more companies are that direction because of the problematic regulations and stuff with the credit cards. I mean, anybody that's in the cannabis industry has a hell of a time with getting credit cards and bank accounts. I know people that got bank accounts closed on them. I mean, it's been crazy, right? Yeah. I processed one order on my sales platform, and I got shut down right away. It said that I was selling drug paraphernalia and I was breaking the rules, and so I've had to operate on e-transfer or cash ever since that point, so almost since the very beginning. And so I sort of was in a double-edged sword area because, like you said, cannabis it's very difficult for the financing. But on top of that, I was a home-based business, or I am a home-based business. So when you combine those two, nobody wants anything to do with you. So it's a bit of a unique need. It's taken some time to sort it out, but getting there.
Yeah. But I mean, now in today's age, especially, who isn't a home-based business? I mean, that's everybody. Everybody's at home, right? So everybody's trying to do something from their home. And cannabis is, in Canada now, multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar industry at this point that government is regulating, and we have stores like in major cities, overpopulating cities, but you can't get a bank account for it. I mean, how does this?
Yeah, it's kind of
it's
nerve-wracking. It feels like an all or nothing. Like either you can walk in with $1 million and you'll have the easiest time, or you don't.
Yeah, or you don't. Exactly.
Or you got to dig a little bit harder.
Yeah. It's definitely a hurdle for home-based businesses in this industry. That the struggle is real. Absolutely. So I mean, things are going well, and we're looking towards expansion. What else can you tell us about the future? Anything else that you want to mention before we wrap up and get to our shout-outs? Or maybe Mr. Graham has a question.
Well, Meeghan, I'm sure this is something that you didn't think that you would get into all those years ago. But I know that you're going to do well. I think that the products I think that the products you got here are different. There aren't things that you're just going to find in your corner stores. And has this been
right?
Yeah. The now, as far as getting the products that you're seeking for your store, have you run into to that as far as running into any problems finding particular items that you would like to get for your store?
I wouldn't say that, like, as in regards to like them being shipping delays, or just seeking products specifically, like seeking.
Yeah, seeking your stuff. I call it your I can't, those words I can't pronounce, you know.
Aesthetic. Yes.
Or yes, yeah. Or do you?
It's definitely more time consuming. Yeah, because I seek out a lot of these pieces from different providers.
Yeah.
So it's not that they're hard to find necessarily. It's just time consuming to find and deal with each provider one-to-one.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because like I said, we've mentioned this. You don't always see that when you go into a store, especially. I know you're not a store, but do you think that maybe is there anything like that down the a goal that maybe you might have? Like, I know you guys always talked about the future, but you just never know.
I don't foresee a retail store at this point. I am definitely interested in doing some pop-ups at some shops,
right.
Which again would kind of go hand in hand with the business sales. I think that would be a really good way for people to be able to see the product.
Correct.
So whether
pop-ups are popular, everywhere. Pop-ups are popular, man. They're very popular, and they're very. They seem to do very well.
Yes,
I mean, so if anybody's listening and wants me to pop up at their shop, just shoot me an email, info@worthin20.ca. But that's something that definitely, yes, in the future. I don't foresee me opening my own retail store, but I would like to have more of a physical presence by getting out there and popping up in the stores.
Okay, well then let's swing it this way then. Our sponsor here on the network, Cannabis, Camelford Lifestyle Shop, which started out as Canada Days. And Canada Days, before it became a store, was actually Wayne going around to markets, different flea markets and stuff. Here we have not flea markets, but we have farmers market. I'm not sure, they would have certain criteria depending on the farmers market, but flea markets like over in Campbellford, because that's where Wayne was. He started off in the one not on Highway 30, but the one that's in town, and he started in there and then grew to a store location, right? But
so now, may I ask, did he experience any problem when he was doing the flea market thing? Because he would be, so you have to be 19 plus. So is there any issue when you do pop-ups in a flea market like that?
No.
And I go to the 400 flea market right on Highway 400 at least twice a year, and there are multiple cannabis shops in that flea market.
Oh, wonderful.
Multiple, and they're all cash based. Cash.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
It's all cash. Yeah, it's all cash.
It's been such a learning experience, this entire thing. It's every day is learning something so new. It's been really
because now I don't know of any law changing on that changed with things, because he didn't have the flea market once legalization. He had the store already. But I know for years. See, that's what he did. I joined him in some of those things.
There's 4 in the 400 flea market. We were just there in September, and we were bouncing from one to the other. We bought something at every one of them, and we had a group of 6 ladies on tour in Toronto, and we just went shop crazy. Right, we went shopping at the flea market, and we were just six women on the loose. At the 400 flea market, we're all partying. So it was quite the day. We had a great time at the flea market, and we visited 4 head shops inside that flea market, and they're just booths. And it's just a booth. It's just a booth, and it's all their stuff.
You rent a booth for the weekend.
It just feels like it would be a very casual day as well.
It is.
So you're not, a chance to meet people and chat. And who doesn't love to chat about cannabis?
Oh, yeah.
There's even
people share their stories with
shop.
you.
Yeah, there's a CBD shop in the 400 flea market as well. So a place that sells
that
CBD.
was interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's that avenue for you. Well, because like you say, when you go are face to face with people and you get to talk to people and stuff like that, about something like cannabis, and you're sharing your experiences, it is different. It's different than just sending an order in, and you get to meet your customers and you get to know your customers that way. More of a personal end of things. Yeah.
Build relationships too.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly. And hey, it's I'm just trying to think. Dude, cannabis isn't in town anymore. You guys in Madoc will have cannabis stores. They'll have some accessories.
Yes. Yeah. So I've hopefully going to be able to work something out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's right. Because.
But in the meantime.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, in the meantime, I mean, anybody can go on the website, and I'm shipping all across Canada right now. So
yeah, and
across
like you
Canada,
said,
everybody does e-transfer now. Everybody.
Yeah. Exactly, they do. All right, Meeghan. Is there anything that we've missed that you'd like to discuss or bring up before we get into the shout out?
No, thank you guys so much for having me. This has been wonderful. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. We appreciate you coming on and spending time here with us on the Pace Radio Show and telling your story. Like I tell this to everybody is, patients sharing their story, helps educate others. Other people who've had those same conditions, and it's just, and you can see that, maybe the medication that they're on, some people might have seen something different the way they acted, whereas they're acting, with cannabis, their problems can be more controlled and not, not worse. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like myself, I was able to avoid opiate drugs, like perks and oxys and stuff like that. All through this Crohn's situation that I'm dealing with, and I might have become another statistic, but cannabis changed that.
Absolutely.
And people talk about opiates make you feel like you're walking around like a zombie, right? Yep. And cannabis can remove that, and it can make a difference.
Yep, give us all a better life. Give us all a better life. That's for sure.
That's
for sure.
Alrighty.
It's great to have you on, Meeghan. It was very enlightening, and I love the products. You probably wind up at least with one customer, and that'll be me.
Well, thank you very much. It was very fun. Thank you both very much.
You're welcome. Okay, we need to do the shout out end of things. Person, place, a thing. If you got a person and a place and a thing, feel free to mention them all. It's up to yourself.
Oh, sorry, just one?
No, you've got three.
You can go do as many as you want.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, geez, I wasn't. I've got. Okay, I'm going to give two Instagram shout outs. There's two amazing accounts that people need to follow. Higher Living Jess. She is a wonderful cannabis writer out of the East Coast of Canada. She actually just did a fantastic review on the suppositories that you were talking about. And then Victoria's Film Roll on Instagram. She is a Toronto-based freelance photographer, and she happens to be my younger sister. So check those ladies out. They are fantastic.
I probably met her too then. If she's your younger
for
sister.
Sure you have.
Okay. I got a quick question for you that connects us right back to the beginning of the program, and that was when I mentioned something about you may have a connection to something to do with our news story, which was the suppositories, and that was the fact that you knew somebody who had written a review on them, and I never mentioned that you knew somebody had written a review on them. And what did they think? Like, as far as the review end of things, how was the review?
She was very positive. She said that I don't have it in front of me, so I can't quote it, but I believe she said that within half hour or 40 minutes of using one, she like a warming sensation and discomfort started to ease off.
The space
is what I remember.
Nice.
So kind of like what you were talking about, Kim. So there's no like euphoric high. It was just,
it just relaxes the body. Relaxes
absolutely.
the body. Everything that's in that area, where it can be dispensed through the proper channels, depending on which direction you're inserting it in. It either goes up and through the bowels and into the stomach and all of that, or it goes up into your reproductive system. And, it just relaxes that entire area.
Yes, and so that was, again, so on Instagram, that's Higher Living Jess, and she's a cannabis writer. She's a really good mentor.
She's the wife of a past guest, ex-wife, I think, or ex partner of one of our past guests. She's I've just gone blank.
Oh, like that, eh? Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Chris Enns. Yeah. Former partner was Chris Enns. Yeah, we were talking about Jess when we had Chris on as well.
Yeah, actually, didn't we have Jess on as a past guest?
Long ago, I believe.
Ago.
Yeah, many moons ago.
Yeah.
Many moons ago, and then Chris was on with us just a short time ago.
Yeah,
and Jeff came up in
She's been a wonderful mentor and a friend to me, even from far away. She was one of the first people when I started the business, just in the industry. She sort of reached out, introduced herself, and she sort of, we check in from time to time. So she's a really lovely person, and she's a great writer as well.
There you go.
Nice. Very cool. There you go. And one more time, website address.
www.fourthandnumber20.ca. So fourth and then the number 20.ca.
All right. Question.
.ca.
So people know, and is the word AND and not the symbol.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. I know there's a little bit of trickiness with the domain there, but yes. So it's spelled fourth and number 20.ca.
All right. Good stuff.
Awesome. Very good. Very good.
Kim, shout out.
Shout out. I'm going to give a shout out to us for our next week's show. I'm going to give everybody that took the opportunity to tune in tonight and listen to this lovely lady talk about her excellent products in her shop. Give you a little sneak peek and a little heads up to tune in next week. Got a very special guest going to be joining us next week, and I just got confirmation this afternoon. We will have Olympic gold medalist Ross Rabigliotti will be in the house 8 p.m. next week in same time slot. So I'm looking forward to that.
Really? Olympic gold medalist Ross. I'm gonna mess up. I'm gonna mess up that last name. Oh, but yes.
Rabigliotti.
Regularity. Okay, all right. It's not Smith or Jones. We've actually we did a quick interview with him on a roadshow broadcast. So this is going to be fantastic to spend 90 minutes with him and to go over everything. Yeah,
absolutely.
That was just a tease. That was just a tease last time.
Yeah, it was just a tease. Yeah, we got about 5 minutes with him last time at a huge event with thousands of people around us and our microphones being shoved in this man's face. It was not the prime opportunity to get an in-depth interview, that's for sure. But we did get a sneak peek with him at that event, and I'm looking forward to the full interview. And just a side note, Ross's Gold, which is his company, was the first sponsor that I ever had when I originally launched NOSER, Northern Ontario Cannabis Education and Resources, just 7.5 years ago.
Really? There you go. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, so Ross is joining us next week. Good stuff. Looking forward to that for sure.
Awesome.
All right. You can find the Pace Radio Network on Twitter at Pace Radio. You can also like us on Facebook. You can like the Pace Radio Show on Facebook. We're on Instagram as well. And you can find us on the web at paceradio.net as well as at pace-online.ca. Thank yous go to our sponsors, the friendly folks at BMA Hydroponics. You can find them at bmahydroponics.com. Canada's largest, I still call them the largest First Nations dispensary in Canada, Legacy 420. They're at legacy420.com. Camelford Lifestyle Shop in downtown Camelford, and drbuckcts.com. That's Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions. Also, big thank you to you, Meeghan, our guest tonight, 4th and 20. Thank you for coming on the show and spending 90 minutes.
Thank you very much for having me.
Hey, you're very welcome. Very welcome. It was great catching up with you as well. You know, it's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
We'll have to get together. We'll have to get together and have a conversation and have a joint. And I don't know whether you got a dog, but I got a dog, and she always likes to go for walks. So.
Well, I have a 6-year-old, and he likes to go for walks, so that works out.
There you go. That works.
I see many pictures of your young lad there, and yes, he's a cute little guy. Thank you. Yes, I seen him recently, all dressed up with a guitar, eh? And looked like a real rocker there.
Yes, he is Mom's little rock star. That's for sure.
Yeah, he sure is. All right.
I should say Granny's little rock star.
Granny's, yeah. Well, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Grandma Jane, she's a real singer, blues, jazz, all that stuff. She was a guest here on Music and Mary Jane with
was she?
Yeah, with Craig McEachran when it was broadcasted here. He was doing interviews on Sundays, and she was on with him, and it was good.
Oh,
it was
wonderful.
good. Yeah, it was good. It was good hearing from her and the music and stuff. So, alrighty. Other than that, thanks, Kim, as always.
You're welcome.
And thank you to our listeners for tuning into the broadcast. We'll see you all next week. And good night.
Good night.
You know I blame it on industry.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Do you want to hear what patients and cannabis advocates have to say? If so, then catch the Pace Radio Show Wednesday nights here on paceradio.net.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.